Hello! This is Yahweasel. I am obsessed with finding the worst versions of video games, whether they are first-party ports that were too ambitious for their platform, such as the Resident Evil games for mobile phones, third-party ports that were just cash grabs, such as the Resident Evil game for Gamecom, which is what we're about to look at, or just out-and-out unlicensed third-party bootlegs, such as the Resident Evil game for NES. I've played all of those, but today we're looking at Gamecom. Here with me, because I'm not that knowledgeable about the Resident Evil franchise, is IndieTimmie. Say hello.
There's a Resident Evil for NES?
Yes, that is a thing that exists. It is a bootleg. We can talk about that some other time. Anyway, this is for the Gamecom, which means it was made by Tiger Electronics. It was made by a third party. It is licensed, but not actually made by the original creators. So take that first. Second thing to say about the Tiger Gamecom is that it's almost as good as the original Game Boy, and was made a decade and a half later. So, really, we're setting our bar pretty low here for the platform. Last thing I want to say is, I actually recorded all of this a year and a half ago. It took me, I don't know, like 20 hours to beat this game, and it took me a year and a half to sort of emotionally recover from that, to the point where we can talk about it. So, shall we begin? Let's begin. There we go. Okay. Absolutely no bugs in starting things. Anyway, I want to mention, I know this kind of looks crappy. You will not find any better recording of a Gamecom screen than mine.
Is there no capture card or something?
Of course not. There's no emulator, really. There's no sort of capture hardware you can get. All you can do is record the screen. I'm very good at recording the screen, but this game console is hard to see when you look at the screen with your eyes. Genuinely, it's hard to see it with your eyes. So
Really?
It's quite hard to see it with
oh my god,
without your eyes with the video camera. So this is actually footage from the 6th stream I did of Resident Evil 2 for Gamecom, because it took me 6 tries, or 6 streams, so like 12 tries or something, to get to the point where I could save. This is the beginning of the game, but it was my 6th stream at the beginning of the game.
I mean, it starts out relatively somewhat close to how Resident Evil 2 starts.
So I think, in terms of its connection to the real Resident Evil 2, I suspect you'll be impressed. In terms of quality as a video game, that's a different story. But in terms of its connection to Resident Evil 2, it's actually probably pretty impressive.
How come you, stand there for a long while after killing the zombie?
So, the zombies love to stand up again, and they love to move really fast. So, you basically have to sit there and wait for them to go, which is the indication that they're dead, because when they're dead, they make a sound, because that makes sense.
Oh, you just get the shotgun, okay.
Yep, we just right at the beginning, sure, why not?
Well, have you played the original Resident Evil 2?
I've probably played 2 minutes of it.
There's supposed to be a whole cutscene of a guy threatening you, and then he dies, and you get a shotgun.
Well, that would involve a cutscene, yeah. So I want to point out that the controls are tank style, like the original Resident Evil, and I think Resident Evil 2 didn't have tank controls, right? Am I wrong?
No, they did.
They did, okay, so that's actually accurate. But anyway, the point is, even though this is a 2D game, to go, back, you have to turn yourself around and then press forwards, and if you're facing to the right, you press up to go to the right.
Yeah, I mean, every Resident Evil pretty much had tank controls.
I thought that lasted sort of the first maybe couple games and then stopped.
No, I don't know if you can consider Resident Evil 4's tank controls, considering its over-the-shoulder perspective.
Right,
guess you
right,
could still.
which is, well, so I mean, it only sort of is tank controls if it's, if the perspective makes it so that up isn't necessarily into the screen.
Okay,
In
so
my
then
opinion,
they
anyway.
stopped tank controls at 4 then.
Okay. So...
Amazing sound design, by the way.
It is, the sound is actually pretty good on the console. That's one thing that it is definitely better than the original Game Boy on. But, you know, they didn't really make such great use of it.
I've never even played a Gamescom, so I don't know what it originally sounds like.
I mean, for the Gamecom in particular, nobody's ever played it, so...
I mean, a YouTuber I know by Pete Dorr, he has one, so I've only known about it because of him.
I have 2.
Oh, jeez.
So we haven't seen my favorite trick yet. I thought we would do that a little bit earlier in the game. I think we're about to see the most annoying thing about this game. Yep. So there's only 3 layers of depth from front to back of the screen. So if you come into a screen at the front or the back... It doesn't take a lot of steps for a zombie to get you. Just 2.
Oh, jeez.
So it's pretty frustrating that way. I think we're about to see my favorite trick. Or just see me immediately getting grappled because the zombies were right at the edge of the screen. Great, thank you.
Oh, jeez. This seems very frustrating to play.
You have no idea. It's amusing looking back on it. From this perspective, I'm happy with it. So you'll notice I backed into the other screen. I call this technique screen check, and it's a mandatory part of playing Resident Evil for Gamecom. There are 2 screen checks. So for one, zombies only come to life once you have been on the screen that they're on. So I needed to move onto that screen for them to exist at all. But then, if I'm on that screen, essentially they're in control, because they're right next to me. So I move off of the screen, and they can come off of the screen, so that puts me back in control, because I can sort of choose wherever I want to be in the screen, but they can only enter from where they can enter from. So you're going to see that a lot. That's a killer technique there.
Can you not reload outside of the pause menu?
Not that I found. Not so. There's 4 buttons. All of them do something, and none of them.
It should reload automatically once you run out of ammo.
Oh yeah. So it does reload automatically when you run out of ammo, but it takes like a significant amount of time to do it.
Really?
And so it's not. I just tried to keep loaded at all times.
Wow, Leon's face.
Incidentally,
you look like you moonwalk when you...
Yep, we're gonna be moonwalking a lot.
Like his head down, his hand on his hip, like Michael Jackson.
Particularly when he's in pain. Yeah, it's a definite moonwalk. He does a lot of moonwalking.
And when you're aiming, you look like you have a giant Joker smile.
He does. He does. I know that's supposed to be a shadow, but it's so poorly done. So there's another aspect of screen checking we haven't seen yet. I said there were 2 styles of screen check. I'll mention it when it comes up.
Alright. I'm surprised they kept these in, the little transitions.
So again, like it's I'm not that familiar with the original game, but it is actually the original game. Like it's not just junk.
Yeah, I mean this.
It is junk.
There was never a zombie up here, so that's new.
Hey,
actually, I don't even think this part is part of the original. I don't know. This part doesn't look familiar.
I mean, it is sort of... It's hard to tell with the lovely, lovely screen of the Gamecom, so you'd be forgiven if this actually is part and it's just impossible to tell what's going on.
Like, the top left corner of the screen just kind of fades away.
Yep. And I want to emphasize again that that's not just a video recording effect. I've tried to make it better in the video recording, but there is no angle that you can look at the screen with your eyes in which you can see all of the screen. You have to, like, tilted about so that you can see whatever part of the screen you care about. The GameCom is not a good game console. There's another screen check.
It seems like the poor man's Game Boy.
Yes, 15 years late. And so the tragedy of the GameCom, it has a touchscreen. All of those dots on there, that is the resolution of the touchscreen. It can go down to one of those squares.
Oh my god.
It's really bad. But the thing is, since it had a touchscreen and it was sort of this quality, it was fine for, like, poker games, puzzle games, that kind of thing. Just non-action things. But there's about 2 games in that genre for the console. They're all like this. It's really odd.
What's the other game?
Puzzle games? So there's the game that came with it, Lights Out.
Well, no, I mean, what's the other action game?
Oh god, there's Sonic for Gamecom. There's a Sonic collection, Sonic 1, 2, and 3 for Gamecom. You can't imagine how unplayable that is. I
imagine it's something like this.
It's really bad. Let's see. There's a indie racing game. There's Frogger, which is, classic but still action. You can't.
Seems like a playable game on here though.
It gets. Yeah, it's the main problem with that one is that everything is so small that it really emphasizes the blurriness.
Oh.
And then there's some arcade game ports, which about half of them are playable on this screen. It's But the thing is, it was a very inexpensive game console, and so if they had just stuck to games that worked well on it, it would have done fine. But instead, they're like, let's put Sonic on it. Let's put Resident Evil 2 on it.
This didn't seem like a good idea.
It's really odd. It's really strange.
Or they should have just made a Resident Evil that would have worked on the console.
Right, yeah. Or just, not a port, just a totally different game. So, like, Tiger Electronics had license to all of these games because they made those horrific portable consoles, like the LCD consoles, and they just took advantage of that fact to make ports of games that nobody had sort of explicitly given them permission to port. They gave them permission to make a portable version of Resident Evil 2, which they assumed meant a tiny handheld LCD console, and then Tiger used that to make this. But as
I didn't even know. I had no idea this existed.
See, I'm great at hunting out just offensively terrible versions of games. I love it. I love it so much.
I think the only kind of thing that I have enjoyed like this was the Game Boy version of Resident Evil.
So I would be curious about that, if it's sort of a more sensible port. It's like, there's no reason why it had to be a bad game. It's just, it's terrible because they didn't make it within the limits of the system. It's like they didn't understand the limits they were programming to.
I mean, I will say, it's very playable. You can see where everything is. I mean, I was able to make it through a good portion of the game.
So I'm assuming that the Game Boy game probably, they
Well, Game Boy Color, actually, sorry.
A Game Boy Color game, even better, so they probably... Oh, that was... Dang it, I missed it. That was the other style of screen checking. So I was getting impatient with him, so I moved off the screen. If he's still alive but down, that makes him instantly pop up. If he's dead, that makes him vanish. So you can check the status of a zombie by screen checking, by going off the screen and back on.
Wow.
These are the broken mechanics you learn when you play truly excellent video games.
Is there no music either?
Of course not, no. It is pure silence through the entire video game.
Ugh. I gotta admit, there are some monsters I'm excited to see how they are on this.
Even there's not really cutscenes, but the closest it gets to cutscenes doesn't have any music. There's there's no music, period.
Were you able to choose between Leon or Claire?
No. Nope, Leon only.
Oh my god.
And after beating the game, it doesn't give you any new options.
Wow. I don't know. I guess I couldn't have thought there would be.
Well, Claire was the lucky one because she didn't have to be in this video game.
Oh man. Well, but I'm excited to see what RIPD place, or not RIPD, god dang it, RPD place looks like. The police station.
We're gonna find out very soon.
Who else? This makes me very excited to play the remake coming out.
It amuses me that this makes you excited to play the remake.
Well, this specifically more makes me excited because I know it's going to be. I don't
Better
know.
than this?
I feel like if you've played this, it doesn't matter if it's a bad remake; it'll be good.
This is true. You set your bar low enough.
That's an herb, isn't it?
That is an herb.
It looks like some kind of weird voodoo doll.
Yeah, kinda. And isn't it great that you can't see whether it's a green herb or a red herb or a blue herb because black and white's green?
They actually had different herbs.
Oh yes, it has different herbs. It's not easy to know.
What did they do? Did they shade it differently?
No, they look exactly the same, but from the menu you can do info, and info will tell you which kind of herb it is.
Great. Do you know what the differences do?
So I know that green and red, one of them heals more than the other. I don't remember anymore which.
Pretty much if you combine green and red, it's just a full heal.
Right, yes. I vaguely remember that, but it ended up not mattering. They're very, very generous with the healing.
Originally, you can't even use a red herb alone.
I believe you can use a red herb in this, as I recall. I'm going to mention, by the way, we just switched to 2x speed because this game is so very fast. And I decided I'd put most of it at 2x speed just to make it a bit more tolerable.
And
see, like...
blue...
Sorry, there's so many things to talk about. Like, that zombie, there was just no way to avoid being grappled by him because he only had to step forward once.
Oh. God.
There's only 3 planes of existence. Anyway, go on. I don't think I ever really got the blue herb to do anything in this game.
Oh, the blue herb heals poison.
Okay, I don't think I ever managed to be poisoned. I'm not sure if that's a thing.
I think the only monster that poisons you in the second Resident Evil is the tarantulas.
Okay, I certainly remember them. Well, we'll get to that. We've got loads of time to talk about the tarantulas.
So many monsters I'm excited to see in this game.
I mean, don't expect all of them, but do expect some of them.
Why is every item in the bottom of the screen? Like a corner?
They're not, but they just have been so far. Later in the game.
Every item I've seen were like in the bottom corner of the screen usually.
Which is convenient because that's the only part of the screen you can actually see with your eyes.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Are you about to die here? Oh.
I'm getting close, yeah. But, and again, you notice, like, it puts you in the door, he's right next to you, and because it's down from you, he's 1 step away from you. So there's just no way of avoiding that damage.
I also noticed that you equip to use the herb.
Yes. I'm going to equip it to my mouth. Or equip it to the wound, maybe?
I don't know. The menu doesn't seem very efficient.
There's a door back here. It does nothing.
Yeah, you'll find a lot of those in the original. At least if you find a door, it tells you if it's locked or not.
But this one, if you didn't notice there, it makes you grow.
Yeah, what was up with that?
It just makes you grow. That's what the door does. It makes you grow.
Maybe he's pounding on the door or something.
And that makes his entire body grow?
I don't... Animation's not good. I was about to say, is that another door that does nothing?
There's only 2 doors I recall that actually do nothing, that are unusable doors.
You can just come out here now, alright. You're supposed to have a key originally.
Oh, great.
Alright.
There are keys here, but didn't need one there yet.
You just skipped like 3 hours.
Oh, well, that's Great. I mean, to be clear, this is my 6th playthrough, so I didn't really, I experienced that 3 hours, just it was 3 hours of trying to get to this point.
Yeah, I think you're supposed to have, like, the diamond key.
So, there is a diamond key door near the door that we just went through.
Why would they change what they unlock?
Well, it might be that they slightly rearranged the map or something, so, like, the actual well, unless this is all... I don't know. Ultimately, you need the diamond key, so...
Maybe they just made it smaller, the map.
Yeah.
I mean, because as you can see, the rest of the game is pretty much just in this.
Yeah. The vast majority is here. So it has this flavor that a lot of games have, where there is one very open-ended part that is sort of the vast majority of the game, or like maybe 70% of the game, so not the vast majority, but a lot of it, and then it gets very, very linear. It's
which is the laboratory.
Yeah, you get past a certain point, and then it's like, and now just walk straight.
I'm guessing this is a first aid spray.
Yep.
Which looks like a bottle of whiskey or something.
But I didn't pick it up because there is no ability to drop anything, and I wanted that inventory slot.
There was the helicopter with no cutscene.
Yes.
That was a crashed helicopter.
Oh, is that what oh my god!
You're supposed to, like, have a whole cutscene of it crashing into the wall, and...
I never knew that. I've learned something.
But it's just there on this one.
So I couldn't tell it was supposed to be a helicopter. I thought it was like a meteorite or something. It took me a minute to realize where you were, and then I realized, oh, okay, that's just the helicopter. It's just there. I just assumed, like, look at it. That's no part of a helicopter. It's just a lump of crap.
It doesn't look like a helicopter on this. Also, you missed shotgun shells back there.
No, but again, I only have one inventory slot free, and I want it for this. I want it for the ink ribbon.
Yeah.
So no, there are things I'm intentionally leaving on the ground because I can't drop anything yet. And
yeah, Resident Evil 0 was the only game that allowed you to drop things.
And finally, we found a box.
Which always has first aid sprays.
Yes, but my inventory is still full, of course. So.
And you're already... Cool. You're on the second floor. Okay. You're not supposed to be here until, like, halfway through the game.
Great. So we've sort of, well, it's a different design.
A weird design. And there's the liquor.
There's the liquor!
Did you know... Oh, that's right. You said you've played this before.
He's dead. I knew he was there because up until the point that we finally get to the save point, all of this I had played like 10 times. Okay,
there should have been a save point back in those double doors that you came out of.
Wouldn't that have been lovely?
Oh, all right then, because they're usually every time you find a table or a box, there's a save in it.
That is not true in this version of this game.
I don't like this version.
There are 2 boxes that don't have save points next to them. We'll find the other one later.
The only time I've ever seen you actually use a shotgun.
Yes. Just wasting a shotgun shell on lowly zombies. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, do leave a like below. Cheers from Yahweasel and IndieTimmie.